What's up, YouTube family? Tio here, Simplistic Fishing, back at you tonight with some more lake breakdowns. We're still on Toledo Bend on our fifth video now for Google Earth. What we're going to do is we're going to start just north of Highway 6, and we're going to work our way down the west side on the Texas side. If you missed the videos before, we've done tons of lake breakdowns, not just for Toledo Bend, but for about 35, 36 different lakes that are out there in Texas, and we continue to add more each week. So just go and click the link up top to go to the lake breakdown list. That'll show you all the different lake breakdowns we've done, or just hang around. We got some good stuff for you in Toledo Bend. Let's do it. Here we go. Let's jump into this thing as we got a lot of stuff to cover tonight. Now, just real quick, if you've never seen the lake breakdown videos, I'm going to zoom this out just a little bit, so I guess it's not going to come out there. It's not going to make it any bigger anyways. So over here on the left-hand side on the tree, usually break everything down via Google Earth, and then we'll go back and we'll talk about the offshore hotspots on some different videos and really tell you why we think those are offshore hotspots. But the good thing is once you get the card for this, it includes everything, the offshore hotspots, plus all the Google Earth spots that we were able to find. So you can see here on the left-hand side, kind of got everything organized here. If you just wanted to see the offshore hotspots, you could just uncheck all that other stuff and just see just the offshore stuff. If you wanted to, maybe you just wanted to go out and fish the Texas Park and Wildlife fish attractors, you could just click on those and that'll bring up the icons for you there, tell you exactly where they're at. And you can see here, we got a lot of other things. The only thing that I want to caution you on is these grassy areas that we checked. From what I understand, there is no more grass in Toledo Bend. I guess they killed it off, is what they're saying, but I'm still waiting for some confirmation for that. So if you guys can let me know in the comments if there's grass in Toledo Bend, I'd really like to know. So anyways, there is grass there, but then you can see we've got all these creek channels that are marked, all kinds of good stuff. So that's what we're going to go over tonight. We're going to go over everything except for the offshore stuff. So let's go ahead and click on that little button there. Let's take offshore off. And when we ended last time, we ended right up here on this Texas Park and Wildlife fish attractor that was right here in the middle of this bay. So what we're going to do is just kind of come back here. Actually, we went down these creeks as well. I think we stopped right here off this point. So let's go ahead and just start right here where this fish attractor is and work our way down. Now, you guys have heard me talk many times about this lake. It doesn't fluctuate that much, so it was really kind of hard to find a good image. The best image I think we could find was going to be, I think it was 2015, but let me pull up here and see and just get the right image for us. 2012 would have been the best one. And you can see that's real not even bringing it down that much. It's only bringing it down a couple feet. So as we come back out here, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to move this over so we can get a little bit more screen for us. And we're just going to start picking stuff out. So the first thing is, I mean, you look at where they place this fish attractor, and it is right on a creek bend or a river bend, whatever you want to call it, a turn, however you want to call it. That's a good area to put a fish attractor. They've got another one right here as well. So both of these are going to be really good places to look. If you're a crappie fisherman, that's going to be an excellent spot to look. And if you're a bass fisherman, that's a great spot to look as well. You guys heard me say if there's crappie there, there's bass there, so they kind of all go together. All right, so as we move a little bit further down, we've got a ramp over here on this side. Just point that out for you guys, kind of buried over there. A lot of little high spots and things to look at. I don't see any rock and stuff on it though, and nothing that really stands out. That other fish attractor's right there. Moving down here, you got a little bit of rock. Of course, you got your riprap usually. That almost looks like just that concrete slab. But you got some rock right here off this little point. Those are always little interesting places. And then of course you got a little ramp there as well. And as you come over here, you got a little bit of rock maybe off the edge of that. Again, looks kind of like those just that concrete slab. You can still catch fish off that. Don't think just because it's not rock you can't find fish in those areas. You definitely can. And if you look here, the thing that looks interesting here, if we pull up here, of course I'm kind of getting off track on Google Earth, but if we're looking here, a lot of times I like to look at these things via Navionics and Google Earth and kind of compare the two to see if I can find maybe like some secret ledges or secret drop-offs and stuff like that. So if you look here, you can tell that this is pretty shallow. It looks like there may have been maybe an old roadbed that comes through here because this looks pretty defined. Can't really tell, but I'm thinking if I was looking here, maybe see if that's a little hard area, maybe right in here. The other thing that you can really tell here is you've got a pretty good drop or something right in here. So pretty shallow, and then it gets pretty deep because it gets pretty dark right in there. So check this out right in here. Of course, we're going to look at that via Navionics and see if there's really anything there. But if you're just looking at Google Earth, maybe you don't know how to read the contour lines, or you don't have Navionics, look at those shadows. Those shadows can tell you a lot. Like right here, something's going on right in there. Something's going on right in there. So just take a look at those shadows, and they'll give stuff away. Maybe could be an old road right there as well. So just go out there and take a look at that stuff and see what you can find. So getting back on track here, we got lots of ramps. Obviously another bridge back in here. Back here, right off the edge of this, there's some rock. And there's not a lot of rock in this lake. So maybe right here off this little point, get back in there and fish around there certain times of year. You might have some success. You could even get up here in these little canals that they've dug out and fish around those. Sometimes you'll have some success in there as well. So it's just a couple different things to check out there. We've also got some more rock right here, right around this little marina area, right here by this dock. You'll see it. You can tell that the ground actually starts to change color, but you got some pretty just scattered rock in there, nothing too crazy. And then back over here, got another fish attractor that's back here. So it's right out here in the middle. So pretty far out there. That was a pretty deep one. Definitely go check it out. I check out all those fish attractors, and they're usually pretty good. So you definitely want to go look at that. So as we move our way down past Highway 6, we're going to come down in here and move over to the left side. Again, there's not a ton of stuff here to find because the lake doesn't fluctuate that much, but we marked what we could for you guys. So we've got some more ramps that are back in here. There's a little bit of brush off of this point as well. So if we zoom in here, you'll kind of see it. Some real good stick-ups right through here. Pretty heavy as well. I can see that being a really good spot to fish. Go up there and flip around those stick-ups. You could probably have some pretty good success in there. You've also got some more ramps that are back here. As we get back in here to Hines Creek, just some pretty decent little creek channels. So what we've done is we've marked the creek channels for you. So what we did is we just looked at the shadow from where the creek channel was, and we just marked it all through there for you guys. So you can see all these different creek channels. Those are really good places to go look for fish. You want to go out there and follow those creek channels. And when they make those heavy turns, like here, there's a swinging up against the bank. Here's a bend. So they're pretty good turn. Another turn right here, or a bend. So definitely go look at those spots. Usually when they make those big swings against the bank line, that's where you're going to get that sharper bank line. And they love to hang out in that area. All right, so then moving down in here, some more ramps. And then again, you've got this crazy creek channel that's all over the place here. It's kind of two different. There's one coming out of here, so we marked that. We kind of marked it up to where it just connected right in here. But definitely go back in there and check that stuff out. If we look at it when the water's up, it's going to look just a little bit different, but you can kind of see things are just a little bit different. This creek channel here would not be nearly as obvious. This back in here probably would be. All right, so let's take that back down to 2012 and let's keep moving. I gotta make sure I go over here. I think I skipped that spot and went down instead of up. So confusing myself here, but we got some more ramps here. We've got another Texas Park and Wildlife fish attractor site right here off this point. This looks like a really good area to fish right here. Good spot for the fish attractor. There's probably some major creek coming through here or something, and that's probably pretty close to it. So definitely go out there and check that out. You got some ramps back here as well. You got more bridges that you could fish around. Don't see a lot of rock around these bridges. There's some concrete there, but nothing too crazy. This one doesn't really have the shadows of where there might be a drop off, but that drop could be right in here as well. So check that out. As we move back in here, we've got some more ramps. And then I don't think there's too much back here except for these big creek channels. So real good creek channel back here that's been marked for you guys. You could fish around that. Again, focus on where it hits the bank and where the big turns are. And that's going to be your key spots where you're going to find. And you've also got a little bitty creek channel that's right over here that you could get in and mess around. So a couple different areas there. And you can see you got a couple more back in here, some ditches and stuff like that. This just looks like it could be a good primo place to fish. It's also got those stick-up bushes that we were talking about on the other videos. You can go in there and flip those. Look at the shade that those things provide. Now, it's all going to be about the depth, depending on what depth you get. But if you get decent depth, you want to flip around these, especially these right in here, around these bends. for sure, those are going to be high percentage areas to try to find fish. So check all those out. I think you guys are going to have some success there. As we move further out, just more ramps. We talked about these creeks down here. We got those ramps, more ramps here. We talked about that brush. Let's kind of start working our way back out now. So you can see where we were. We were just south. We were in Hines Creek. So we're going to move our way back out here. We got some rock off that point we talked about. And then there's some more rock right out here. It's kind of hidden in here, but if we zoom in, you'll be able to see it. We got some rock right off this point, real shallow rock, and some rock right over here as well. As we move further up, didn't see too much going on. Pretty decent little seawall you can fish here. You guys have heard me talk about those seawalls, definitely worth fishing. Going back in here, didn't see too much. I kind of like this right here, just this little pinch point, but it would all depend on if there's any rock right in here. You can go back there and scan, and there's some rock right through here. This could be a good little spot because it's a real good little pinch point. Almost looks like this was an old dam or an old pond, and that was the pond dam that kind of got blown out right there. But anyways, go check that out. Also, maybe go back in here and see what the depth is back here. This could be an interesting little pocket. So then moving up, we're looking at over off these points. We got some more rock off the edges of these points. You can see here, just right here along the seawalls. Those seawalls look good, especially if that water was high. I would definitely come in here and fish around that stuff. You've got really good riprap all around in here. So again, you don't see too much of that on this lake, so that could be a real good spot to take a look at. You got more ramps over in here. And then again, if you're watching this little white line as I'm going through this is going to be your river channel. So you know that right in here is where that major river swing is, or creek swing, whatever you want to call it. But basically creates that bluff wall for you. So you know you've got really good depth right in here. You've also got a pretty high percentage area to find fish. So if you're out there and you're limited on time, again, focusing on that river channel is gonna put you more on fish. So you could come in here and say, okay, I know from this spot right here on this point, basically all the way probably even to the edge right here, maybe even over here, these are going to be a higher percentage areas to find fish. So the bluffs are a little bit tougher. You got to fish them a little bit differently. But then once you get here, you got some really good docks. Like this dock is awesome. So is this one, and that one as well, and this one kind of, and then you kind of start getting into normal docks. But anyways, check those out and pay close attention to where that river channel is. That river channel is going to lead you to fish. River channels, creek channels, all that stuff. Those are all spots that you need to really be paying attention to. All right, so as we move back down here, we've got ramps. We've also got rocks here. So you got rocks right here on the edge, and then rocks up here off this point that kind of go all the way down through here. They're kind of scattered. You lose it right here at this dock, but then you get some more right in here. So if you're on that shallow diving crankbait bite and they're up really shallow, these could be really prime spots to find some fish. We've also got some right in here as well. Come down these dock lines. It's almost all the way down this whole little bank line. We just kind of marked it for you so you knew, hey, we got a lot of rock going down this whole side. All right, so then as we move further out, again, another Texas Park and Wildlife fish attractor that's out there. So you can see that one. We got a couple ramps that were back in there. Didn't see too much that we could really mark from a Google Earth standpoint back here until we got a little bit further back. Just some ramps and things, but still nothing too crazy back in this little pocket. It does look pretty good though. I mean, it's got some nice little cuts. Looks like it's got some pretty good contours and things like that. Maybe some sort of a creek channel run through it. We just couldn't really find it, but definitely might be worth going back there and check it out for sure. Some more ramps back here. Got more rock right here off of this point. So you can see it as I zoom in. This one comes out a little bit. Really like how this point sets up. Definitely go check that one. As we move further down, we got another ramp down here, and then over to the side, just some more rock to take a look at as we're getting out here more towards the main river arm. Some rock right out here off the edges of these that you can see. They're kind of just hidden and scattered. Plus you got some pretty good cover and things that you could fish around. So I could see this little point, or whatever you want to call it, that little stretch of land or bank line. That could be a really good area to take a look at. I really like how it's setting up. It's also right off of a big turn right there. So maybe that's a good place they could set up right there. All right, then as we move further down, we got some more rock in these areas. What we talked about earlier, those are the two we were just looking at. And that's right on this bin, right? So those two areas where I pointed out those rocks are right close to an area where the river makes turns. So this is definitely a prime point to be fishing off of. All right, moving down, more rocks right in those two areas. I'll zoom in for you, but there's not too much to see. They're just really light rock. And again, this lake doesn't have a lot. So if you do find these rocky areas, see if you can find any rock a little bit further out. Like maybe it transitions a little further out into the lake. You just never know. Back in here, you did have a little creek channel back in there you could take a look at. We couldn't mark them all because we were limited to how many tracks we could make, but that one could be a decent one. So definitely go back there and look at it. I probably should have marked that one. That one looks fairly juicy, but I would definitely go back there and just work yourself around, see what you can find. If the depth is good, that could be a good one. Very well protected from the northerly winds. So from a spawning standpoint, I could see them pulling up in there. Definitely go look at that little pocket there. Also, you got a ramp here, Indian Mountains launch. You can launch there, and basically looks like you're in heaven as far as places to fish around here. You've also got a fish attractor site that's out here. You've got some more rock that's along here, along this bank line. You can see here if I zoom in, it's the same thing, guys, what we've been seeing. It's just like scattered rock off the edges of these points. If it ever catches up with us, you'll see it. But you've also got some debris around this rock too, so definitely check and look at it. You can tell it's a rocky area or a harder point because it's nice and white. It's right there some more. Got a boat fishing over there, of course. Got some more rock right in there. Again, same thing. You can kind of just see it on the bank line. And then as we move further up here, we got a ramp. Again, more rock right in here. So if you're on that little rock pattern, just hit these little spots that we've marked for you guys. And then as we move further back here, another fish attractor site. We're getting down pretty far down into the lake. Going back in here, fish attractor site right here, some more rock off that point. As we get up in here, again, these are good little coves, pockets, whatever you want to call it, to fish because they're protected by that northerly wind, right? So if I pull out, show you guys what I'm talking about, you can tell that this, if the wind is blowing from the north, the fish like to basically set up to where that northerly wind is not going to affect them, right? They can take advantage of the land to protect them from that northerly wind. So anytime you can get these pockets or these coves or whatever you want to call them that are facing north or almost north, those are going to be primo spots come spring, especially when they have these creek channels in them. So this one right here, we talked about the Indian Mounds, that's going to be good. This one here is going to be good as well. This one here is going to be nice and protected too. So, and you've got plenty of ramps in this area too that it looks like you could launch at. So even if you had a small boat, you could get in here. You're protected by the wind, and you've got some really good areas to be able to fish around. Plus, you've got some scattered rocky areas too. So if you couldn't get on with the, just the standard stuff, you could pull off and just see if you could find them maybe just on a rock pattern. All right, so I'm going to keep moving down. We got another creek channel right in here. So this was pretty decent as well. Pretty good turns. Definitely get in here and have some fun. I would love to go back in this little spot and fish. And then right here, I don't know why we marked a channel. Oh, it's just a little ditch that comes through here. So you can get up in here and take a look at that. I got to fix that and change that icon. But that does look kind of interesting. It's definitely different than everything around it. So you can take a look at that. It looks like they have the same type thing right here too. Maybe that's an old roadbed possibly. I do not know. That all looks kind of interesting to fish around for sure, especially depending on the depth though. It's all going to depend on the depth. As we move further down here, we've got another channel that we had to move over off of tracks and just make the points. So you can see here, we got a decent little creek channel coming through here. And then we got some rock that was right here that just kind of came out of nowhere. There wasn't rock anywhere. They got just a little bit right in that little area. And then moving down here, some more ramps. Of course, you got the rock around the ramp. So if I pull in here, you'll see it. Sorry, guys, my internet is slow. So there's your rock right around the ramp. Again, that water's going to have to be up pretty high. The thing I like about this little point are these bushes that are right here, trees, whatever you want to call them. I could see this being a pretty decent little area to fish for sure. If that water's up just a little bit, I'll definitely go in there and check that out. You've also got another ramp that's over here, and then some more rock around these docks. You got some down here you can kind of see, and you got some more right up here. just a little stretch of it. And then you got another ramp that's back here as well. Then we're going to keep moving down. I'm going to kind of show you guys where I'm at. I'm kind of coming out of the big branch pocket, and then we'll tuck in here, and we'll probably finish right out here, right off this tip, and that'll finish us off for this video. So let's go ahead and go back to where we were. Every time I do that, I end up getting lost on where I'm at. But as we're coming out of the big branch area, let me make sure I'm in the right spot now. As we're coming out of there, we got some rock off these points that we can take a look at. There's the rock there. What did I do? Did I just go to the wrong spot? I think I did. We came out of that big branch area. Now I'm totally lost. But anyways, we're right here. So I'm going to keep moving down. Finally got my whereabouts now. We've got rock right in here. Nothing like doing live recordings. We've also got some rock out here off these points. We take a look at those. A little bit more out in there. And then as we come down in here, we're going to work our way back through here, and then we'll come out and we'll stop right in that area. So let's go ahead and keep moving. So I'm going to keep moving around here. Didn't see too much here, but we did have another ramp that was back here. Some more rocks that are kind of hidden back in here. So if we get way back in here, right here off this point, and this is a good spot for them to set up on, right? So they can set up right in here before they move back in these little pockets. That rock is very limited, so don't take a whole trip over just to fish that rock. Now, again, we got a nice little pocket here, just like we saw in the last one, where we had these coves that were pointing. The creeks were coming down, right? And the coves were pointing almost straight north. You got another really good one right in here. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 different areas right there that you can check that have pretty decent little creeks that are coming into them, or made what appeared to be pretty good little creek channels. You can see the ones right there. Got another decent one right in here. And then a couple more right over here in this area. Got one pretty decent one right here. That kind of makes two, kind of a little split. And you got one back here as well. So again, all those creek channels are great places to look for fish, so do not overlook them. And then with those setting up northernly facing, that makes them look even better. So we're going to keep moving down and talk about a few more of these spots. We got a ramp here as well. We got a ramp out here, and just kind of an old bridge that you could fish around. You know, these little spots can be good, and it looks like it's kind of dug out right in here too. So check out just right around this area, and then maybe over in here. Just see if that's any deeper in that area. Excuse me. So as we move further down, we're going to get down here to the ramp. And then we got some more rock here that's right off the edge. And then moving further up here, you can see there is a little bit of a creek or a channel or something going on in here. We probably could have marked that for you guys, but you could go back here and check that out as well. That might be one of those off the beaten path places that you could find fish. Again, it's a northernly facing little pocket, so definitely take a look at it. As we move further back in here, we've got lots of different creek channels that come through here. This was the biggest one that we could find, the one that we marked, but you got another big one right in here too. So definitely go check those out. And then as we move further up here, we've got a bridge that's up here, another ramp that's right in this area. And then again, you've got this little channel that you can follow back through here that take you back into this cut. Go check those out, especially when it gets, come springtime and they're trying to find protected areas. Those can be good spots. We've also got some rock there, and as we move around the edge of this point, you got another channel that comes through here too. So you can definitely go check that out. Make some pretty good turns, and looks like it's got some decent depth to it as well. We're going to move further up. We've got some more ramps right in there. We got 3 different ramps, and then we're going to come back out here towards the main lake. We got another Texas Park and Wildlife fish attractor site off the edge of that point. That looks really good. So go check a look at that. And then we're going to go a little bit further down here and take a look at these little creek channels down here. So we got another one that's coming through here. Lots of zigzags and things, lots of areas you could fish around. You can see it here. Got some more in here. This would be awesome if the lake was up, definitely. We got more ramps back in here, another little ditch that's back in here too you could check out. A couple more ramps, some more rock that's right here around this dock, like a little point that comes out and it's got a little rock right off the edge of it. Those can be little secret areas too to take a look at. You got some pretty good depth right here that looks like where they've dug out for their boat docks. So then moving up here, we're going to find some more ramps. So just more ramps to fish around. Again, if you're on that ramp pattern, could be pretty good. There's lots of ramps on this lake. Got another ramp there as well. And then moving off the edge of this point, we get over here to where we got some rock. Let's see if I can get it to zoom in here. There you go. You can see the riprap right around the edge of that point. So definitely look at that. And then we are going to stop right out here off the edge of this point. So we got some rock right here. You can tell this may have maybe kind of shallow, I guess, in certain areas. This area right here looks good. Go out and flip around that bush and stuff. You can see that being decent. These boats are fairly close to each other. That sea is really close to that boat. And then as we move further over here, we've got some more rock. So again, just that riprap going around. And check these out. See if this dock ever was rebuilt. If it wasn't, for sure fish around it, but see if there's some debris around it as well. And again, fish around that point. The water's up. You're going to have some pretty good riprap to fish around. Looks like there were a couple laydowns there by that dock as well. So let's go ahead and finish there. So that's going to wrap us up right at the edge of that point. So we'll start next time right there at J&L Drive or whatever that is. We'll start at that ramp. And then we'll probably finish up our Google Earth series for Toledo Bend on our next video. That'll take us all the way down to the dam and finish this thing up. And then we're going to switch gears and we're going to talk about the offshore stuff. So all the offshore hotspots that we marked, different areas to take a look at. Obviously, we can't mark them all, but we marked a bunch of them for you guys to take a look at. Hey, we were having a little bit of trouble selling the Toledo Bend cards for whatever reason. I thought this was going to be a super popular lake, but not having tons of sales. So what we want to do is we want to do a promo. So we're going to start that promo. If you go out to simplisticfishing.com and use the promo code Toledo20 and then the %, that is going to get you 20% off the Toledo Bend card if you purchase that or the digital file. So happy shopping to you guys. Go out and check us out, simplisticfishing.com. And if you want more information on more Toledo Bend breakdowns, make sure to go out and check out that playlist. Hey, until next time, guys, I hope you catch your PB. Take care.